Hi guys. A viewer asked me if I could do a video about how to stop suffering from comparing yourself to others. And I know that this is something a lot of people struggle with. I struggled with it a lot in past years. I still struggle with it sometimes because it's really hard not to compare yourself to other people. It's almost like we do it without even realizing that we do. But I want to take this opportunity to tell you that you are unique, you are amazing, you are beautiful, you have talents, even if you don't know what they are yet or can't see them in yourself. You have a lot of positive qualities, a lot of positive traits, and you do have people who love you or who will love you if they get to know you. These are facts, these are truths, and there's no reason that you should dispute these things about yourself. There's no reason at all. And I know that hearing that from a complete stranger on a screen who you don't even know, it doesn't really hold the same weight that it would hold if someone that you know in your everyday life was telling those things to you. But they're very important things, and I promise you I mean them even though I don't know you. It's something that is true about every individual. And it's just up to that individual to tap into those things, to realize their potential, to understand that they are unique and wonderful individuals. And you have to love yourself in order to stop comparing yourself to other people. And I can't promise that if you love yourself, you'll never compare yourself to another person again. But at least when you do compare yourself to other people, you'll be able to stop yourself and say, I'm not like that person, but I'm not like that person because, and you're going to list things that aren't necessarily negative. And if you are comparing yourself to someone else, you might be able to say, where is this really going to get me? What will comparing myself to this person really do for me? You're going to realize that it's not healthy behavior. It's not the way to live your life. And wondering what other people think of you or comparing yourself to other people, whether it's physically, intellectually, emotionally, in any way, shape, or form, whether it has to do with accomplishments or work or school or, even small things like the kind of clothes they own or the kind of car they drive. And I think it's only natural that we see things in other people that we want to emulate or we want to be like that person. But when you're comparing yourself to other people and it causes you to dislike yourself or to berate yourself or talk badly about yourself, it's not helpful in any way. And you don't want to live your life looking around at other people trying to figure out why you're not as good as they are, because that's not really what it's all about. Every single person on this earth is completely and utterly different. But I know you guys want actual helpful and usable tips and tricks and suggestions and advice and things like that, which is the reason that I'm making this video. I was just answering an email from someone who reads my blog the other day, and she had asked me something that goes along with this question and this topic, because she asked me what she can do to stop focusing on the negative things that people say to her, because she's well aware that people, specifically her parents, do tell her good, positive things, but for some reason, she can only remember the negative things when push comes to shove. She only focuses on the negative things, she only focuses on the disappointments, and she just can't get past it. And she asked me what she could do. I told her to start keeping a log of all of the positive things that are said to her or about her. And we know that if we have a problem with focusing on negative things versus positive things, we know that our minds are going to remember only the negatives. But if you keep a written list of the good with actual dates, you're going to be able to continuously prove to yourself that good things are said and ease yourself to focus on them. You might not want to believe them when you see them there on the paper, but they're going to be there in black and white with dates as proof that they occurred. And if you see this list continuing to grow in a notebook, there's no way that you're going to be able to dispute that those things actually happened, that those kind words, good words, positive words were actually said. So that is the best advice that I can give when you're dealing with something like this, because unless you can keep refocusing your mind on the good, which it seems that many people cannot, that's something that you can try for a while. And I think that you'll see, even if it's with some disbelief, that you're able to allow that the good instances did and therefore do happen. Because if you can keep a log and you see on that log that things have happened, X amount of times in a month, and you have the dates that they occurred, so you know that that's real, that's reality, you're going to realize that because they did occur, they most likely will continue to occur. Therefore, they do happen. The positives are there. People do see them and are aware of them. And even though negative comments might happen as well, it won't be so easy for you to focus on the negative over the positive. And this has a lot to do, I think, with comparing ourselves to other people. So I'd suggest that the next time somebody tells you something positive, you immediately write it down in a notebook and go from there. I had also told this person that had emailed me about this particular issue that, the next time someone tells you something positive, immediately write it down. And then throughout the day, literally doodle that sentence on whole pieces of paper, instilling it into your brain, and while you draw the words, you're allowing yourself to focus on the fact that they were actually said. And I know that this sounds like really strange, but it's really no stranger than hearing something negative and focusing on that the entire day and ruining your entire day because of one small thing that someone said to you. So that's my 2 cents. And I think that the more you do these things, the more you're going to be able to change and deal with it, and it will show. Something that used to help me a lot, especially when I was in college, if I would see someone walking around that I didn't necessarily envy, but I was comparing myself to that person, I would try to make myself think, okay, well, I'm comparing myself to that person, and I think I don't have it as good, or I don't look as good, or I don't, have the things that that person has, but I do have all of these things, and I don't think that person has all of these things. And I would sort of play devil's advocate with myself. Another thing that I used to do when I would see someone and compare myself to that person, you have to think to yourself, what might that person be dealing with on the inside? I mean, you can obviously see what's on the outside. That's what's showing, and that's what you're using to compare to your own appearance, most likely. But there's so much more to the story than the cover of the book. And you really have to tell yourself that, because just because a person is beautiful or thin or whatever it is that you are envious of and comparing to yourself, there are issues, there are problems. Everyone has problems. People that, look immaculate and beautiful don't necessarily have perfect lives. And you really have to remind yourself of that. Everyone's human. Bottom line is, comparisons are going to happen. Our brains immediately jump to comparisons when we look at other people. But it's what you do with what your mind says when those instances occur that really are going to make or break you. If you automatically compare yourself, you can stop that thought right there. You can tell yourself something positive in retaliation and move on. You don't have to harp on it. You don't have to let it rule your day. So I hope you guys found this helpful, and I'll see you next time.